Hello everyone, this is DavidViadel23 and welcome to the Mandrago's Cave. Today we are gonna be talking about Lost, the TV series, okay? This is something different. We don't normally draw in the channel something that is not kind of fantasy. This is a little bit of a mix. So I've been mentioning in a couple of videos that I watched this series, that I was watching this series, and I wanted to, before it leaves my mind, I wanted to just talk a little bit about the series, my experience through the series, some thoughts that I have, some things that I think work very nice, some other things that I think they don't work, or maybe they were too mixed with other topics. Obviously, this video is gonna be full of spoilers. Lost is a series with 6 seasons. I think it started around 2004, 2005, something like that. So it's something that is already finished. So I'm gonna be talking full-on spoilers up to the very end. So if you haven't watched Lost, or if you are planning on watching it, or you are halfway through, I would advise to leave the video, click here on the top of the video to go to another of my reviews or to my main channel and pick another video for today. Okay, the main idea is to do here in this area some caricatures of the characters, the main characters. Okay, normally I would do full characters and go through the whole explanation of why is this happening and how is this happening. But for today's video, I fancy to basically do a little bit of caricature, only the faces, and I can englobe more than one character. The top number of characters that I was able to do more or less in 1 hour video so far was around 4, more or less, with the bleach video, and obviously I need to rush a lot the drawing to be able to not have a super lengthy explanation. Like, okay, when I'm watching something, I can watch 10 minutes video, 20 minutes video, 1 hour video, 2 hours video, I don't mind. But obviously talking about such a dense topic for long period of time, it can be a little bit tiring for you to read or watch, and for me to explain as well. So I'm gonna do a generic analysis. I don't think I will go into more Lost videos, but obviously, if you ask about it, I can always create more videos about this. But in my opinion, it is not a series like One Piece, Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter that I would want to go into detail with multiple videos, because it is not the same concept that we have in a fantasy storytelling way of explaining things, that you start one adventure and the adventure finishes and you see a full process. This type of series is a mix between survival at the beginning, it becomes drama, there is mysteries introduced, there is some science fiction side to it, and then at the very end you see as well some supernatural aspect of the series. So as you see, it's a mix of genres. Multiple directors, multiple producers in the series, very lengthy series, so you can appreciate that a lot of people had, let's say, interpretation in the story, or wanted to add his piece to the story, and some of the things maybe don't fit together as if only one person is managing the full storyline. Okay, so first of all, so you just understand what are we gonna be drawing. As you can see, I'm drawing a guy here. This is Jack Shepherd. There are multiple characters in the story, like more than 20, more than 30 characters that you follow storylines, like in Game of Thrones. So you follow a little bit this one, a little bit this one, some of them mix, some of them are groups that they separate at some point and then they come together. And what I'm gonna try to do here is draw a couple of these guys, okay? Probably we will not do full-on color or anything like that, because as I said at the beginning, I don't want to be here 3 hours talking about Lost and drawing characters, drawing 50 characters. But I picked the ones I think are, how I would say, the main characters. It is a difficult word to express. Jack Shephard for me is the main character, okay? But at the same time, this team of people, all of them have the protagonist concept, okay? So, as you can see, it's like a little sketch, like something like this about Jack that later I will define with a pen, okay? I wanna draw as well probably John Locke here, probably it can be. John Locke is as well a character that is very important for the story. He is through the whole story there with us, and a lot of importance. And it makes sense for me to choose him to be here. Okay, it's a very important character. I think one of the 3-4 most important characters. Jack, even being the main character, I would say, the one guy that you follow most of the time, I would say that John Locke has more importance for the series, for the concept of the story. Okay, I'm gonna be as well doing very caricature, some of them very caricature. They have different ages, so I don't want to go for realism or anything like that, but this is just to situate a little bit the whole story, okay? So the main concept, keep in mind that I'm kind of englobing and putting together a 7-season series in one short video, okay? In one only video. There is this plane that crashes full of people in an island, okay? Some of these people die in the accident, some of these people survive, okay? And then the video, the stories starts. Because this kind of type of story being more as well drama and outside of the fantasy realm, I never wanted to get much into it because it is not my thing. Around 2012, more or less, when this was finishing or almost finished or just finished, I decided to start it, and I just could watch 10 episodes. And I like survival series, okay? I could just watch only 10 episodes, and then I said I can't continue with this because for me it is not interesting. Sometime after that, I tried to do it again, okay? Try to start the series, and as well, like 10, 15 episodes, and I couldn't continue. So I was kind of... lately I was kind of, this is a very famous series, Lost, a lot of good reviews from everywhere, and I think I need to have this challenge with myself and try to watch it, okay? I have to watch it for the sake of the storytelling, and for the sake of world building, and for the sake of character development, that it is what I do. Being such a famous series, I said to myself, let's watch it, let's try to go through, and after weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks of watching the episodes, I recently finished. So it's time to talk about it, okay? So the plane crashes, the story starts like survival, exploring the island. There's some kind of polar bear around. They do some findings. There's some kind of black smoke around the island, some kind of mystery or magic things happening, or like a security system happening in the island that it gives to understand that there are other people in the island as well. They are not alone in the island, okay? And the story, it starts becoming like interesting because the relations that the characters have between them, and this main cast, let's say this main cast, all of them have their own reasons to be here, and you see this through the series. Through the series, you are seeing how Jack, for example, ended up on the plane, why he was traveling from Sydney, Australia, to Los Angeles, and how he behaves, like he behaves in the story, like a leader for the group, okay, and his sense of responsibility, his sense of taking care of people, his sense on wanting to protect everyone and wanting to save everyone. He has some trauma from his job as well and everything. So basically, there is a very nice, I think, in my opinion, as a character developer myself, I think there is a very nice summarize of the story for each one of the characters, okay? So you can understand them, why they are like they are in the island, okay? And you see that, especially with Jack, because he has more screen time in this sense. He has more flashbacks than everyone. He has more kind of explanation than everyone. And even if you don't see him in the story of the island being the main character, he has more importance. Probably from the directors, they wanted him to be this kind of leader, okay? So, as you can see, we have 3 so far. I'm going to be talking about all of them a little bit slowly. I'm drawing now Kate, okay? I will talk about her in a bit, but Kate probably is going to be looking very ugly, because for me, I don't like the character, and it was impossible for me to be patient with her development as a character. I don't have anything against the actress. The actress, I've seen her in many roles, and is very nice actress, very good actress. But I feel lucky, to be honest, that I haven't seen her first in this series, because if not, it would have kind of shaped my opinion and my external view of the actress through this series, and I would have hated her, because the whole story with her is a little bit, for me, it makes me anxious, it makes me nervous, it makes me not understand why is she doing all of these things. Even knowing her backstory, I don't understand what is happening here. So these 40 plus people are in one side of the island, okay? When the plane crashes, they start surviving, they start exploring, they start to meet each other and to know each other, okay? So, because there is one character that is with handcuffs, and we need to understand why and who is this, okay? So, that obviously, as I said, full spoilers, ends up being her. Basically, because all of these things, you think, good, the story is going to be about survival, but then you have John Locke. He is in a wheelchair when he's traveling before and everything for some time, and after the crash, she's able to stand up, keep walking like nothing happened. He says nothing to anyone. He just goes around with his day, normal, like nothing happened. He wants to understand the island, okay? This is kind of the part of about the mysticism of the story, when a little bit of fantasy and a little bit of, believing goes into the story as well, apart from the science fiction or the mystery part of it. We have this character that, because he healed in the island, he doesn't want to leave, and the rest of the people are kind of worrying about, how are we going to escape from here? Let's find a way, let's find a boat, let's find a plane, let's find a helicopter, let's find something to escape. And he's the only one, basically, that he just wants to explore, stay there. He thinks that this happened for a reason, and they need to stay. They can't leave the island, okay? All of this because the magic and the mystery about him being healed, okay? Very interesting how all these things happen, but I have to say that at the very end of the story, when all the thing is developed, I didn't like it much. I think this is a common knowledge that I knew before watching the story without reading about it, but I knew from other people that the story was good, but the end was disappointing. And for me, I realized that as well, and because there are so many things trying to be mixed in the story with different genres, that it made it very difficult to understand, okay? And think about it. This is one of those series that even having this mix of genres and having this kind of weird kind of explanation for everything. It has been one of the most watched series ever, one of the most expensive series ever, and they spent a lot of money and a lot of time to do this, and these guys became absolutely famous because of this series as well. And so it kind of gives me mixed feelings, okay? Directors and people who was involved in this, after this as well, they worked in many big projects, they become very big, and yeah, so let's try to kind of, as I'm saying, try to analyze a little bit or explain a little bit what's happening or what happened and what things we see in the story, okay? I'm gonna be doing, now this is Harley, Hugo Reyes. Well, they call him Hugo in the story, Hugo Reyes, but I think the proper in Spanish it will be Hugo Reyes, okay? And I wanna make him smiley because he's a very smiley, very nice guy. This character I really like. He's a very nice kid. So there is this mystery about this black smoke that is like, sounds like a Tyrannosaurus Rex, like a monster, like a gas, like sounds like mechanical as well, very science fiction, but at the same time a mystery. And there are some abductions in the island, that some people disappear from the main group and they don't know how, and they realize there are other people in the island, as I said before, and they call them the others. These others are hostiles, that they are trying to kill them and attack them because they invaded the island, okay? The story develops, we go up and down, you know, against these others. The others capture some of us in the group. We capture as well some of the others, and the story starts growing. More people is introduced in the story. We find a hatch in the middle of the jungle, and this hatch has like a laboratory underneath with a guy there. The guy is pressing a button every X amount of time. This X amount of time is connected to Harley, because Harley has some numbers that he won the lottery because he heard it from someone else, and these numbers are the numbers used for this hatch to not explode, let's say, okay? They say, oh, something very bad will happen if I don't put these numbers in the computer, so I need to keep these numbers introduced every X amount of time. So a lot of things are being introduced because this lab, this hatch underneath the ground, like buried in the ground, we are introduced as well to another group of people called the Dharma Initiative. The Dharma Initiative are a group of scientists that we don't know why, but they are doing experiments in the island. And this is all from the past. We don't know anyone from Dharma in the present until the story starts revealing Benjamin Linus, that is one of the others. But this group of the others is formed by some people from the Dharma Initiative and some people from this other group of people, okay? There are multiple groups of people across time, because I will explain this as well in a bit, connecting in this island, okay? And this Benjamin Linus is the one who can give us explanations. All of these things, all of these ups and downs with the story and multiple characters and Dharma Initiative and the hatch, all of this kind of concludes in the concept of there is a pocket of electromagnetism in the island, buried underneath the island, and by doing this, okay, by touching this electromagnetism, weird things happen in the island, okay? There is these people that they are kind of even worse people than the others and worse people than the Dharma Initiative, that they are trying to invade and attack these guys and kill these guys as well. You need to think about this. In each season, they introduce a bad guy or a group of bad guys. The others in the season 1, the Dharma Initiative in the season 2, and then this other guy, Charles Whitmore, in the 3rd season, and all of these interconnect. People from the others will go into Dharma, people from Dharma go into the others, people from Dharma became Charles Whitmore and his group, and then they wanted to come back as well because the electromagnetism and everything. So as you can see, there's a lot of things, there's a lot of characters, and it is a very difficult series to, let's say, sell, in my opinion. Okay. I think we have kind of couple of designs here. Let's do Sawyer. There is a figure. There is a figure in the story, a person here, or a spirit, or a god, or a messiah, or a spirit of the island. I don't know how to explain it because it is not explained. But this is a guy called Jacob, and Jacob at the beginning is someone that no one has seen, like he's God, let's say, okay, or he's the island, and he's giving instructions to this guy, to other guys, to this Benjamin Linus, how they have to do some of the things, okay. And what happens with this guy is very curious, because later it's explained that he had a brother, and this brother is a man in black. Jacob is always in white, this other guy is always in black, and he is supposed to be the smoke. He's the smoke of the island, because in the past, ages ago, Jacob, they had a disagreement, and Jacob threw him to this, inside this pocket of electromagnetism, or this is represented with a very whitish light, okay, like a hole of whiteness in the ground. And when he comes out of that, he comes out as a smoke, like as the bad guy of the island. But all of these things, in a nutshell, if I want to explain in a nutshell the relationship between these two guys, I would say this is probably completely unnecessary for the story. If you think about the storytelling, these two brothers they arrive. The mother arrives to the island pregnant. There is another woman in the island that helps the woman to give birth. You have these two brothers, and when this other woman takes the babies, she decides to kill the mother, okay, and raise these kids as their own. She teaches them the magic of the power, the magic of the island, this pocket of electromagnetism that she doesn't know what is it, but she thinks that she needs to protect it. Probably there were people before her there that taught her how to do that as well, but she's alone there, okay? So she has her own trauma as well, explaining that everyone is bad. Apart from her, everyone is bad. The humans, the people from the outside world, all of them are bad. So he kind of raises these kids in a bubble, making them believe that she is the mother. At some point, the man in black, the kid in black, realizes that there are other people in the island, approaches these people, they tell him the truth, that they are just, they just castaways there as well, and they are not bad people, they want to escape the island, and he learns as well, because the island is kind of alive and has this spirit. He has an apparition of his mother, okay, and his mothers tell him that, oh, this woman is not your real mother, this woman just killed me years ago, and is lying to you. So this kid confronts the mother, and ends up, the mother tries to kill him in another moment afterwards when he's older, and he ends up killing the mother. So that makes this Jacob, the white guy, the good guy, the god guy there, go against his brother and kill him, in theory kill him, okay? So because all of these things, this guy becomes a smoke. But the only thing that he wanted was to escape. He just wanted to know who he is. Okay, I'm someone who comes from the outside, and I want to just go back home. I don't know where is home, but I just want to go out of the island and go home. And I don't think that is something that is going to make you a bad character, that you want to go home, and circumstances happen because you had an upbringing in a way from your mother that it treated you like that you end up in an argument. Your mother was going to kill you, but you end up actually killing your mother to protect yourself, and you end up being the bad guy. it makes no sense to me, okay? So there are a lot of things that for me I would change in the story, like the presence of these two guys. The presence of these two guys that is basically in these 2, 3, 4 last episodes, they are introduced more because they mention them a couple of times as people, not as spirits, as people. And I think it breaks a little bit the concept of the story for me, because you were focusing so much in science fiction, so much in time travel even, and now you put these two guys there like gods and like having superpowers. It makes no sense. There is a guy in the story since the very beginning with a group of the others that he can't die because this Jacob that represents God in the island made him immortal. Why would you be able to do that? Is not explained at any point that you, as a person, can give powers to anyone. It is not explained that because you want to protect the island, you will be granted powers. It is not explained, not even at the very end. Like, they drink a water, and because drinking this water, you become the next chosen one, let's say. Everyone has been drinking water from the island. Why not everyone it becomes the chosen one? Not even Jacob knows who is going to be the next chosen one. Okay, so it's a little bit random, the whole story, and it's a little bit difficult to understand. I don't think even watching the series 10 times you will be able to make sense of the whole story, because it doesn't. Okay. So I think we have some basic sketches here for these characters, and I'm gonna be now probably I do here the black smoke as well, or the black smoke around here, okay, something like this. Very caricature, and I want to do it as well very cartoon, okay, as you can see. I'm gonna be this time doing the drawing, the line work with big pen. This is my favorite art tool to sketch, to draw, and to do things in general, like to write as well and everything, because maybe it's because I grew up with this type of pen in school and teaching and learning, that I have it so important in my life. And I have to say that I'm more at ease when I'm drawing with this one, even if the drawing doesn't end up being as nicer maybe as with fine liner or with colors, but with this one it kind of gives me more freedom. And I think for this type of video, that I'm not looking for a perfect outcome, I'm not looking for a full-on drawing, I'm just doing some, caricatures to spend the time while we are talking here about the characters. I think is the nicest choice for me. Okay, let's talk a little bit about all of them. I'm gonna start, for example, here with Hugo. Hugo Reyes here. He is supposed to be the good guy. He's always very happy, very positive about everything. He has this curse. He thinks that he's cursed because the numbers, and everyone who goes close to him is gonna die or is gonna be in mortal danger, okay, or in a problem. And all the bad things that happen, in theory, happen because he thinks is his fault. This guy, even being like that, he's such a nice guy all the time. He's trying to put peace if someone is arguing, talking with this guy, talking with the other guy. He, even at the beginning, in I think it's the season 1 at the end, or season 2 at the beginning, he even kind of says, I'm gonna make this golf course here in this side of the jungle so we can, distress a little bit and relax a little bit, playing with doing some matches and everything. Such a nice guy. I really like the character because you can see what a good guy would do if you end up in an island and you get stranded in an island like this. And it is one of those characters that it makes you want to continue watching the series to see what's gonna happen to him. Okay, Lost is a series that it has a lot of content, and it's difficult to keep it up it's difficult to be there and to want to watch the whole thing. There are very few movies, very few books or stories that I struggle to keep watching, and this was one of them. This story is so thick and so mixed with genres and topics happening at the same time that I struggled. I am not gonna say don't watch it. You are completely free to watch it. Maybe you like it. Maybe you are more science fiction person than I am, and you enjoy it. You are maybe more type of a mystery type of series that you may like it as well. Mystery. Maybe you like as well this kind of survival. Survival is present during the whole story, but I think my problem that I had the first time I was watching it years ago, that I only lasted like 10 episodes or 15 episodes, and the second time it happened the same, is because after those 10, 12 episodes of survival, trying to see where are we and what's happening and how we can escape, is when they start introducing the other genres. They start to introduce the science fiction in the story. They start to introduce the extra mystery, the extra fantasy, the extra, I would say, superpower thing, okay? So when all of those things are introduced in a story that I don't expect to see that, it kind of moves the standards I have for the topic I'm watching. In this case, survival drama, okay? And yeah, but I think I'm happy that I could watch the whole thing, and I'm happy that I stayed watching it because it is very big story. A lot of people knows about it, and it is useful. I don't think it is a useless concept. There are many points of the story and many sides of the characters that I like, and even you can learn from them when you are creating your own characters and your own stories, and it is something very interesting in that aspect. Okay, I think Hugo is looking very nice. Just throw Jack a little bit, okay? Jack and Sawyer, the handsomes in the story, okay? These two guys are basically, yes or no, no and yes, maybe, perhaps, with Kate. This one is kissing this one, the other one is kissing this one. Who I'm gonna choose? I don't know who I'm gonna choose. All the stories need a little bit of, romantic relationship and the main guy, the main girl, and all of these things. And I understand it, but I think it is a little bit too much in the story. Is done too much. Jack, for example, he's a doctor, okay, in the real world, in the outside world, he's a doctor, he's very well positioned, he has his kind of trauma because he's working with his father and he thinks and that he's not good enough, or his father makes him feel that he's not good enough. This is one of these universal feelings that many people, most of us have, and a lot of people has grown with this, that whatever you are going to be doing, you will never be enough in the eyes of your family. For example, you can be the best doctor, like in this case, he's very good doctor, and but you will never be as good as your father, for example, no? And he feels a lot of struggle with that aspect. He brings that to the island. He lost people in his operations, in his practice, in his work, and because of this as well, he has this kind of trauma of not wanting to lose anyone in the island. So he's trying to protect everyone all the time. He's trying to overprotect everyone all the time, and this is causing problems to himself, problems with other people in the island. When he's captured at some point by these others as well with the Dharma Initiative, he is doing his own dealings in secret with the bad guys to help the group, but not telling the group. Something that a leader in a story may do at some point, but the way that he's doing it, and the circumstances that he's doing it, it is not nicely done for someone that is surviving in an environment, in a hostile environment, but for someone that is already like, let's say, like more than 1 month there, and obviously people start doubting about him. Some of them trust him blindly. He's the good guy. He's the main character for excellence, and the main character and the perfect example of a good guy. But because he has a problem, it's only because he has a problem, okay? Then, for example, here with Kate, Kate is a character, as I said before, that because of this duality, I know in relationships this happens a lot, but because of this duality with now I want to be with Jack, now I want to be with Sawyer, now I want to be alone, now I don't know where I want to be, it was very, very difficult for me to try to be on her side in any decision that she was taking. Kate was the character during the whole story, from season 1 to season 6. She was the character that I was more afraid of seeing what outcome her actions are gonna unravel. Like, we are capturing this bad guy, or we are capturing this person, and we are trying to explain some things to him so we can take some information. Please don't tell Jack, because Jack is probably compromised with the Dharma Initiative, with the others, with the bad guys. No, don't tell him. Oh yes, don't worry about it, I will not tell anyone. And then, obviously, a little bit after that, she goes there and she says, hey Jack, they have this person there, and they told me not to tell you, but I think you should know. He is compromised at that point of the story. The naivety of this girl in the story is Titanic, I have to say. The past that she has is as well very traumatic, and you can understand as well a lot of the things that she does and how she behaves. This escapism that she has all the time is because apparently what happens there, and why she's in handcuffs in the story, in the main storyline, in the plane, is because her mom had a boyfriend, and this boyfriend was abusive and was treating her badly, and young Kate at that point, she couldn't stand it anymore, and wanting to protect her mother, the mother was in theory in love with this man, but wanting to protect the mother, she decides to kill him, okay? So since that point, she's escaping all the time, and she ends up captured at some point, but she is doing some bad things to come out of other bad things. And her character development, I think it's is not one that I enjoyed in the story. It's not one that I would say it's good, like for example, these guys Sawyer, or these guys Locke, or these guys Hugo Reyes. There are characters and characters, okay? And by the contradiction that this character is doing during the whole story, I would not trust a good development with her, okay? And whatever she's gonna do in the story, what I realized is that I know that she's gonna be lying because of her past, because her wanting to escape from everyone, because the problem and the issue that she had with commitment, because what she did in her past. And you can see all of these things in the island, very, very remarked, okay? As well, obviously, it is something done on purpose. So you know that because of the things that she has done in the story, she's behaving like this, that, as I explained at the beginning. There are characters that you don't like Joffrey, for example, King Joffrey in Game of Thrones. And there are characters that because of this, even the real life actor stopped acting, because the response from the public, from the audience, was so radical towards him. With me, I said at the beginning, I feel lucky that I didn't see her Evangeline Lilly, I think she's called. I didn't see her in this role first. I seen her before in other movies, in other projects, and it was good work, nice. But if I would have watched her in this role, it ties you to the character. Like Harry Potter will always be Harry Potter, okay? For someone who has seen Lost first, Jack Shephard is the doctor, the handsome, the main character, and he will be forever, even if he does many other stories. For me, Harry Potter always will be Harry Potter in any other story, in any other movie that he's going to be involved. And that is the crude reality of acting, okay? It's good because you get a lot of money working in these projects, you got very famous, and at the same time, it's not that good because you are tied to a role, okay? We have Sawyer. I'm going to be drawing Sawyer now. Sawyer, probably, I think I'm going to draw him here at the bottom. And to be honest, yeah, because it can create a more compact drawing. It can be more interesting if I do it here at the bottom. Later I will clean this properly. So let's draw directly with the pen, and that's it, like this. Sawyer, I think, is one of my favorite characters in the story. He is a con man in real life. He doesn't say this to anyone, he keeps it secret, and he's trying to has this facade of bad guy the whole time, and be kind of strong looking towards Jack, that is his rival, but they are like brothers, like they are fighting like in One Piece, Zoro and Sanji, but they protect each other all the time, okay? They protect the group all the time, even if he is a con man. He has a tragic past as well. His family, they were tricked as well, they were in a con, and he lost the mother because what happened in this affair, okay, and the father killed the mother, and he ended up being traumatized because of this, and he wrote a letter to the man who conned his family, saying, my name is Tab, this and that, I'm gonna be, I will forgive you, blah blah blah. So he has this kind of note of himself being a kid, basically saying, I'm gonna find a man, and that's why he was in Sydney, he was gonna kill the man, but he got the wrong person, and I'm gonna kill the man who destroyed my life, basically. Even being a man that is introduced as a bad guy and is introduced as a con man in the story, you will think that he will be more like a fighter, more aggressive, more wanting to create problem or be the boss, or there's a time that he takes the weapons. There are some weapons in the group, and he takes the weapons, but he doesn't want to use the weapons. He's good guy, he's just, I think, the perfect character for this type of a story that it will surprise you. Is this guy, I think, in my opinion. The sun is now shining very strong. I hope you can see everything nicely here, okay? He has this kind of look. Let's do, and the hair is like this, a little bit like this. Okay. As you can see, very cartoony, very caricature, all of it today. He's always in fights and in fighting with Jack, fighting with the others, fighting with this guy, but he's holding himself a lot with the whole concept of Jack, for example, because he's the leader and he needs to protect the group. He will come, punch him on the face, and steal his medicines, or he will go while he's doing something else and steal the medicines that he has from his loot. Okay, that, well, I guess you need to protect everyone, but it's his loot, you wanted medicines, you could have looted the the plane as well, okay, to get all those things that he wanted. But Jack goes there, punches him on the face, and I would expect, because he is who he is from the past, oh yeah, this guy is gonna fight, this guy is gonna do this, gonna do that. No, he's quiet, he's kind of tempered, holding himself, not wanting to create problems. He's not... you can see at him and say, oh, this is gonna be a troublemaker. But he's not, he's not. I really like his character in the story. I really like his development in the story. I really like how he, from the con man who wants to take vengeance of the guy who ruined his family and ruined his life, he becomes this kind of protector. And for example, there is a scene, very, very beautiful scene, a superhero scene basically, where there is a chance that some of these guys can escape the island, and they are actually escaping the island, some of them, and they manage. And they are flying in the helicopter, a couple of them, and there is not enough fuel to reach the boat that they are gonna take to escape the island. And the guy is looking at the girl because obviously he's in love with the girl, and he's looking at the other guy. He's looking at everyone. He's like, you know, I need to make my call here. I need to take a decision here. He just jumps the helicopter and allows the rest of the guys to have a chance. Okay, sacrificing himself. That is something that you see him, how he grows as a character in the story. Very nice. Very beautiful, and I think it's a very good example of a good guy, a good man, and a guy who will sacrifice anything, even his own life, to protect the rest. More, in my opinion, my honest opinion, my personal opinion from the series, more even than Jack. Okay, Jack doesn't have that role. Jack has the protector role in a sense of you need to do what I'm gonna say. Okay, because I'm the leader. I don't want to be the leader, but you appointed me as the leader. We're going to do this, or we're going to be acting like this because I'm doing something in the background. He's not like that. He's the contrary of that action. He's like, I'm listening, I'm looking, I'm not going to say anything. I'm going to just do this for the sake of everyone, like in silence, to sacrifice myself for everyone. And I love it. Sawyer is one of my favorite characters, and Hugo as well, very good guy. They have very good connection, these two guys. He has good connection with everyone, but it makes it for me very, very interesting. Okay, that's what makes me want to look into the characters and look into the storytelling and the world building of a story. Okay, so with Sawyer, bravo. That is actually, Sawyer is the name of the con man that he takes as his own for the vengeance. He's actually called James Ford. Okay. There is another main character called Sayid. Sayid is a torturer, and he has done very, very difficult things in his life. Very difficult life he had. Okay, and he's another one of these main characters. I didn't kind of pick him to be here now in the drawing because I don't want to be drawing the whole day, and I don't want to how to say, there are main characters and secondary characters. I don't want to say he has a main character role because he doesn't. He helps a lot everyone, but his story, I think, is more within the main group. Even if he's one of the Oceanic Six, that the Oceanic Six are 6 characters that they managed to leave the island, okay? Even that, I wouldn't say he's main character material. I think he's more secondary character when Jack needs answers, when Locke needs answers, when James needs answers. They will ask for him, hey, Sayid, can you help us? Because you are good at survival, you are good at, you know, torturing, because you come from that background. Can you help us to get this information? Can you take us to this other side of the island? He's kind of assisting all of them all the time. He's kind of almost main character, I would say, in my opinion, that he's in all the important things that happen in the story. Very nicely done character as well, I have to say. A very troubled man. A man who wants to leave behind his past, who he is from the past, this torturer figure, but he can't. He can't. The island is putting him on a test all the time. Very interesting character, Said, I have to say. I like him very much in the story, very much. He's basically, for me, the brute force. When something needs to be done, Said will do it for the survival of the group, for his own survival, okay? And he's trying to be a reformed man. He's trying to be a better man, but the circumstances are not allowing him to do it. And you see this until the very end. It's so sad, but so nicely done in this character. I like this character. And we are doing now drawing here a little bit of the caricature for John Locke. John Locke, as I said at the beginning, he is in a wheelchair at the beginning of the story. And when he arrives to the island, he realizes that he can walk again. He's kind of saved. He's healed from this spine problem that he had. He had an accident. His father in the past threw him through a window. His father was a con man. He tricked him on stealing one of his kidneys, and after that, because he never knew his father until his adulthood, and when he met his father tricked him into the kidney thing, and after that we learn that the same guy is the one that he's looking for, is the father of this guy. So basically, John Locke is a very good guy the whole time, a very honest guy, very helpful guy, very knowledgeable guy. He helps the group the whole time until the very end of the story. At the very end of the story, he gets killed. He gets killed multiple times in the story. The thing is, he comes back all the time, and he thinks it's because the island, the powers, the island wants me to do this, the island wants me to do that. And what he doesn't realize is that he's being played basically with these other guys, Benjamin Linus, Jacob, the guy in the dark clothing, and he ends up dying, okay? And what happens here is that outside of the island he dies, and when he returns to the island, he's back to life. That is crazy, and that is very difficult to understand. Everyone thinks that he's him, but then we learn that the guy in black, this bad smoke, has kind of possessed his body and is trying to make everyone escape the island with him. Okay, original John Locke wanted everyone to come back to the island and stay. But when he returns, when he brings everyone back, now he wants to live with everyone, okay? He doesn't confess until the very end that he is now the black smoke. He's not aware of that, so he's basically dead, and the consciousness that he has is gone. So we are now seeing the black smoke, the bad guy, the demon, the evil, in his body, being controlling his movements and everything. He's a very radical guy at this point, a very strong-willed guy that is going to do whatever needs to be done to be able to escape the island. You can see him in the transformation as a bad guy in this period of time, but if you think about it, as I said at the beginning, he wants to leave the island because he was lied at the beginning when he was a kid, and he just wanted to go. So as you can see, it's a very compelling story, very nice character development, very nice characters. The problem is that there is a lot of information, a lot of genres mixed, and too many things happening at the same time. There is this other character that I love, these two characters that I love, Desmond and Faraday. Desmond is the guy that they find in the hatch, and he's one of my favorites because he's the anomaly. He can handle these visions, this time travel thing that happens, okay? And Faraday is a guy that later in the story comes into the group, and he's the one with answers. He's the one who explains them a little bit of the time traveling concept and why all of these things are happening, and that makes the story interesting in the concept of time travel, but the time travel, well, I guess they had a lot of people in the island. To explain the island, a lot of scientists and very intelligent people that actually they are in real life studying and trying to figure out things about time travel and things like that. Scientists famous from the world, they consulted them probably to do this kind of things in the story about the time travel. No, probably they consulted someone to make sure that this may make sense. So far we will never know if it makes sense or if it is not making sense, because we don't have time traveling at the moment. Okay, maybe at some point we can, but all of this is guess, and it is nicely done. Desmond can realize when he's time traveling because he's affected by the electromagnetism, because he pressed a button in this hatch and all this time travel started. And then Faraday, when he comes, he happens to be son of another character that he learns afterwards as well, and it gives a lot of information, so we learn when the island is gonna jump, what happens there. Okay, so the island moves because the electromagnetism. Okay, there is a level that they move and is pulled, and then the island jumps 30 years in time. That we know, but it jumps every now and then, multiple times during time. Okay, the ones who left just before the jump in the helicopter, they have this life outside, and then they come back to help them, and there is as well this bomb. There is a bomb that Faraday says, "Hey, we need to stop this bomb," and then they say, "Oh, we need to explode the bomb." There's a little bit of things around that basically, because the bomb detonation, it should have worked, but it didn't. In theory, it's clearly creating a parallel universe, like in Marvel Universe, because we see by exploding the bomb, you avoid the electromagnetism from the island, from the past, from 30 years ago, to make this explosion of these waves of electromagnetism and having the plane dropping in the island. Okay, because of that, you never had a plane crash, you never arrived to the island, and you avoided the accident. Okay, so, but they are still in the island, so that means it's creating parallel universes, multiple universes at the same time. So then is when the thing starts getting crazy, and you don't understand what is happening and what time, because there's too much information about it. The people who escaped of this fate in this newly created universe without a plane crash, they start to having flashes of the island, of flashes of the other people, flashes of this actual past that is actually past, if you think about it, and they start meeting and they start being gathered by Desmond, and you don't understand, because the end of the story, if this is while they're still alive, or he's gathering them when they're already dead. Okay, this is not actually explained. The story continues after this, and we see how the bomb for the timeline, it didn't work because they continue in the storyline. If the bomb would have worked, they are expecting to disappear from the scene, and they are still there. Okay, so you are living in the island at the same time that created another future, let's say, that is your past in theory, because this is been happening some time ago. Okay, so I guess this is a little bit of paradox. I will need to study this a little bit more to see why this is not working. I don't think it's working, but as I said, I think probably they consulted scientists and very clever people to see all these parts. How we currently, as far as I know, we haven't done time travel yet. We can't obviously create a fantasy about it that is logical, let's say, or it is truthful, because we don't know, because we don't have that information, and we don't have that experience, and we don't have that knowledge, okay, as far as I know. In the last episodes, they introduced a lot of religion with the topic of Jacob, the good, the God, the Messiah, the concept of the bad guy being the evil, and I don't think there's need for that. There is too many mixes there. If you left the concept open that, okay, the island is alive, maybe I need the other pen. I'm doing, like in the Inktober videos, I'm doing a little bit of Lira Aqua Brush too. I'm gonna put some Inktober videos here so you can have a look. But you don't need that good and evil sense to the story, okay? If you would have just made Jacob being the spirit of the island, and there is one spirit of the island that is Jacob, that is trying to bring people there to protect the island, okay? It works. Don't give him superpowers, don't allow him to grant superpowers to other people, because the electromagnetism shouldn't be able to give you superpowers, okay? This is not a Marvel story. We are not going into the supernatural regarding superheroes stories. We are doing a science fiction, drama, mystery, no? Why add at the very end this touch of magic and supernatural? I didn't like it much. For me, it makes no sense, to be honest. And I want to know as well your opinion. Maybe you watched Lost multiple times, or maybe you are more knowledgeable than I in this topic, and you can help me to understand more part of the story. Maybe you are a YouTuber that are making videos about Lost, and you watch this and you say, oh, you didn't understand that bit, let me explain it to you. Explain it to me. Maybe I know more about One Piece, for example, or I know more about Lord of the Rings or Harry Potter, and maybe about this specific topic I didn't understand it properly, okay? But this kind of good and evil with Jacob at the very end, I wasn't much happy, I have to say, happy with this part. At the end, with the church and everything, with the concept of the church, in his new life, in his newly created life that he has in this story that he never crashed in the plane, Jack has a son, and when he heals, when he's able to operate his colleague, his friend at that point, because they met on the plane. The plane happens but never crashes, and these guys meet on the plane. Okay, when he operates Jack operates John, and he's able to walk again and everything afterwards. He says, "Oh, what are you talking about, Jack? You never had you don't have a son. You never had a son. What are you talking about?" What do you mean? That the story never happened? They actually never changed the past? They actually, all of them are still in the island, and they are just dying, and when they are dying, they are meeting at the end of the story? Do you mean Desmond is like an angel or something like that, or like an emissary of the island? That's why he's able to basically gather these people, that they actually are not connected. Desmond is the chain connecting all of them, to be able connecting all of them, plus Faraday, that is the one who says, hey, let's move this. Are you telling me that, for example, that all of them actually died when the bomb exploded, but we didn't see it, and we are left to understand? Are you telling me that the numbers are so random that it never happened anything with the numbers? So what happened with the numbers? I want to know why those numbers, from where they come, did Jacob create the numbers, or his mother created the numbers? We are not given any kind of explanation. I know this is not the topic I normally talk, as I said it at the beginning, normally talking about fantasy. Within the fantasy worlds, you have this kind of sense, you have these stories that start and finish. Here, no. Okay, in this kind of drama, mystery, especially in mystery stories, you don't have to finish the story either. But, after 6 seasons, like more than 30 or 40 characters, most of them having main character role a lot, like these 5 guys plus let's say 5-6 more as well that have a lot of importance. We don't have a clear explanation, and for me it bothered me a little bit, and I understand why people complained at the end of the series when originally finished, because I would have liked to know why the numbers, why the Jacob behavior, why not letting the brother go, why John Locke having to die, why Jack's son in this parallel universe happened or never happened, was only a dream, trying to fix the mistakes with his father through this imaginary son, maybe why Kate had to take the baby. There is a lot of push in season 1 and season 2 of Aaron, that is the baby that one of the people in the island, Claire, has. It needs to be raised by her. It can't be given in adoption. It's never explained why. You can say at the end of the story, because he can become the darkness of the island or the evil in the island. Okay, you have explanation for that plot of the story. It never had explanation. But they deemed to, for example, give Claire a connection with Jack. Because is your sister from another mother. Irrelevant, okay? There are many things, as I said, that I liked, many things that I enjoyed, many things that I didn't like, and they make no sense for me. I leave the floor for you down below in the comment section to give your opinion, explain your experience of Lost, explain me things that I may not have understood, explain to me things that I may have understood incorrectly as well, and the good things as well. If some things that you like, explain it. Some things that you like from the video that I explained as well, say it in the comments, and let's open discussion. I do not think I will do more videos about Lost. It is not a series that it gives me the intrigue to want to create more. As I said, not like One Piece that I wanna guess what's gonna happen. I can't guess what's gonna happen with Kate because it's very unstable storyline. I can't see what's gonna happen with Jack because they close it very, very ugly for me at the end with the charge concept. How can be Jack in his mind having this kind of heaven or limbo concept of the church with his friends from the island, where there are people there in the church sitting that he never met. So it can't be in his mind if he never met, for example, Sajid's girl. Why is that girl there? But the girl can be in Sajid's story, yes, but not in Jack's story. It makes no sense. Maybe the easiest explanation is that they lived their lives, and Desmond as a spirit of the island, because he's the one that stayed in the island, one of the most people staying in the island for a very long time. Or even Benjamin Linus that doesn't go into the island, that doesn't go into the church, meaning I'm still alive, maybe he is this kind of representative of the island, and kind of making sure that everyone, when they die, they have a place in the island, or they have a place in this church in the island, okay? It can be like that. And Jack, not a single moment in his second storyline reaches at a point that he's gonna die, or he's in a problem that he's gonna be dying or something, but he walks there. He walks there with these guys, and he sees everyone there. Difficult to understand. Maybe at some point, if I kind of keep reading, because I've been reading online a lot as well. It's been already some time since I finished the story, but I didn't do the video straight away after finishing. But maybe at some point, I keep reading, I keep checking reviews, or maybe other videos from YouTube, other information from online, and I learn more about the proper explanation for the end, apart from what I'm saying. Maybe, and it works. But so far, For me, in general, it's a okay story about survival. It's too mixed with different genres, and the thing that it hooks you to want to watch it is the characters themselves. Especially, for me, Sawyer, Hugo Reyes, John Locke, Faraday, and Desmond Hume. Those couple of guys, for me, are the ones that I said, I want to see what are they gonna do. But the rest of the guys are a little bit, but well, I think for a general video of Lost, my thoughts about Lost, it's okay. An open discussion if you want to talk about it. And yeah, I'm gonna sign for today, okay? Here at the bottom, this is DavidViadel23, DavidViadel23, you can say it as you want, and this is the Mandragon's Cave. I hope you enjoyed the video, I hope you enjoyed the caricatures, and yeah, I hope to see you in the next one. Thank you very much, bye!